For 13-year-olds. If you're 13, then watch it.
This is Riker Soto. I'm gonna tell you how to make spaghetti and see what changes are chemical or physical and why. For obvious reasons, step 1 is washing your hands, especially at a time like this. So, first thing you do when you wash your hands. So, this is soap. First, you wet your hands. Once they're nice and wet, grab this, and you put your soap in your hand. Then you rub your soap all over, making sure that you get all over every single piece of your hand, so then, germs don't go everywhere. Also, this is warm water. You can't use too hot water or else you hurt your hands. And you can't use too cold water or else it won't kill any of the germs. So next thing you do is also wash your arms to make sure that everything's completely clean. So, the reason I wanted to talk about this was because, well, you need to wash your hands, especially at a time like this. So, when you wash your hands and the soap starts bubbling, that is a chemical change because you cannot go back. You cannot undo the bubbliness, and also it kills all the germs, and you can't undo that. And it doesn't physically pull apart the germs like hand sanitizer does. Hand sanitizer acts like butter, but this one dissolves them. I dried my hands with that. Now I'm going to show you the ingredients. So, this is step 2. Gather your ingredients. The first thing I grabbed was Prego Italian sauce, 3 cheese. This is really good sauce to use for spaghetti. Then I grabbed these, which is just regular old noodles, as you can see mainly here. The next thing I grabbed was the Texas toast. Yeah. Here's the meat, right here. 1 pound of meat. You must microwave a pound of meat in the microwave. Assistant, show me. 11 minutes. 11 minutes. Defrosting meat takes 11 minutes. So the changes of the meat is gonna be physical because it's not quite cooking, it's just defrosting. So the frost on it is water, and basically you're melting the water away. So it turns from ice to water, which is part of the water cycle. So then it turns to that, and then you get really good juicy meat. Then it's going to evaporate because the water gets really hot, and it's going to evaporate just like that. And go, I'll show you how to use these pots and pans. So, you put the meat/sauce in this, and then you put the noodles in this, and water. Then, once your noodles are nice and wavy, you put the noodles in here, over the sink. You use this to take the noodles out and put them on the plates. You use this to stir the sauce. Then you put the bread, the garlic bread, on this into there. Take all this off. Okay. So we come back to our pots and pans and stuff. I reorganized them a little bit. to grab this right here and fill it up with some water. So then, fill it up with some water, regular old water, to about halfway. It's almost halfway. Yeah, this is gonna take a minute. Almost halfway. Halfway. So now I come back over here and set it back here. Next, I send it to high. Then you put a little bit of salt.
And why are you putting salt in your water?
Because when you put salt in there, it helps the noodles to not absorb too much water.
And they don't stick together.
We are currently waiting for it to boil, but right now the meat is thawed. Now with our ingredients, oh wait, I forgot about them. Ah, there we go. There's our stuff that magically came here. This is almost ready to boil. It's not 100% boiling just yet, but you can feel it right here that it's getting ready to boil. And we're still fine now. I'm sorry, I lied earlier.
So when it starts to boil, what kind of changes is that?
Once it starts to boil, it is a physical change because when it starts boiling, the water can actually freeze again when you make it cold. 3, 2, 1! Yay! Burner's on, the meat is cooking. So what you need to do is stir up all of this right here. And this is a physical change because you are breaking apart at the meat. But technically you can't come back, well, you can come back from it, but since, you know, it's cooking as well, it becomes a physical and a chemical change because you can't go back from that cooking part because it moves the water molecules so fast that it heats up anything surrounding it. So the grease coming out of the meat is a physical change because you could just put grease back on it.
Ew!
It is now starting to brown. So when it browns, it is a chemical change because of what I said earlier. Go. So I drained the grease and the meat is finally cooking. And I added some seasoning and some salt. Now we put the sauce in. Well, we'll take this out and then we put the sauce in. So, when you put the sauce in, turn down the temperature to simmer.
Mix it.
Now you mix thoroughly. Okay, sauce is now cooked, so I put it in the back burner to make sure it cools down. And turned it off. And now the water is actually boiling now, so I will now get the noodles and
do that about 3 more times.
do 3 more times.
Say about 1.5 pounds of noodles altogether.
Pounds of noodles all together. Set go. Next, you press the timer. And then you just set it like that. And then now we have to preheat our oven for food.
Our bread.
Our bread.
Okay.
Yeah, this is definitely gonna be bad no matter how much I try to edit this. For about 425 degrees. Well, now we're gonna put some bread. Go. Okay, so the next part. The changes right now are that the starches are being rearranged at a molecular level because of the intense heat, which makes it a chemical reaction because you can't change it back to normal. Okay, we are now going to strain the water. Due to technical difficulties, we were unable to retrieve that specific piece of video, but it's okay because I'm going to tell you right here. So what happened was, I set that for like 5 minutes and put it into the oven. I turned off the oven, took these out, with those very carefully, and I set everything to the back burner and waiting for everything to cool. Ready, set, go.
Okay.
Tell me how it is.
Yummy.
You're the best sister in the world.
It's so yummy.
For about... For 1 minute. Oh, 11 minutes. Put it into the oven.
You put the bread in the oven. You gotta say the bread.
I put the bread in the oven.
Okay.
This is how I conclude my presentation for spaghetti.